So, a fresh new week has arrived, and here on this channel, that means one thing and one thing only. Every weekend, I post an episode of this series we do called Your Take Not Mine, where I turn to you, the viewers, to give me your hottest NBA takes of the week, based on what's going on at the time, and I then choose my favorite submissions and discuss them in a video. This week, the Olympics got underway, with all of the top talent worldwide gathering in Paris to battle it out, so that's going to be very fun to watch moving forward, and we definitely have plenty to discuss as a result of it. In order to submit your takes, I make a community post on either the day of or the day before the video, similar to the one that you see on your screen now, so if you want a chance to be featured in a future episode, be sure to stay on the lookout for that. Before we start though, it turns out a good amount of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I'd also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Dear Moss, and they say that LeBron James, even at 39 years of age, is still a top 5 player in the NBA. LeBron's definitely not the same player that he was even a few years ago, but he still manages to somehow withstand the test of time and prove he can age with his game like a fine wine. Last season was definitely not the greatest for his Lakers squad as a whole, but LeBron's quote-unquote decline is by no means a significant factor in that. He still posted averages of about 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists per game, and started to really take over as the team's primary ball handler down the stretch, playing more of a point guard role, dishing out 9.5 assists per game from the end of January to the end of the regular season, proving he's still capable of stepping up into a bevy of different roles and molding his game to it and excelling at the highest level. LeBron's legacy and resume don't need to be highlighted any more than it already is, because we all know how great his career has been. But when player rankings drop from national media outlets, especially recently this summer, them and the analysts with big platforms that work there have formed a trend of LeBron no longer being viewed on the same level as the MVP candidates and other superstars at the peak of their games, and while to a certain extent that's fair, he's not the best player in the league anymore like he used to be, but we are still seeing him outclass the best talent in the world playing with Team USA right now, with them all looking to him to lead them in the biggest moments and take over when the going gets tough. The Olympics are officially underway, with quite a few warm-up scrimmages going down leading up to it, and the first game of the event having gone down already as well, and in pretty much all of the games played so far, LeBron was the best player on the court amidst so much greatness, which is pretty telling. Looking at the best players in the NBA right now, I think it is safe to rank MVP winners and champions like Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo higher at the current moment, and at full strength, Luka Doncic and Joel Embiid are probably right up there as well, but then that 5th spot is very much up for grabs. Jason Tatum is someone that people like to try to put in that 5th spot, but LeBron and Tatum are literally teammates right now, and Tatum is getting DNPs while LeBron is the best player on the court, so you can still tell the difference in levels between the two, with LeBron still proving how far above he is. So I don't think the idea is crazy at all to say that he is still top 5 at his best. The next take we'll be discussing today comes to us from User, and he says that Brandon Ingram has become extremely underrated, and if he gets a fresh start on a new team, he would prove that he is a top 15 player in the league again. I'll start off by saying that I do completely agree with the fact that Brandon Ingram is experiencing an extreme amount of recency bias regarding how he's viewed it around the league, by teams, and even fans and analysts alike, with most having completely soured on him as a player. He's been on the trade block the entire offseason, and there hasn't been even a tiny shred of progress made with another team trying to work out a deal to acquire him, despite the price tag placed on him not even reportedly being that crazy high. Then, within the last few days, Pelicans Vice President David Griffin said in a radio interview that he thinks at this point they're just going to play out the final year of Ingram's contract with the team and see where it goes. They clearly have no motivation to offer him a substantial max contract extension extension though, so they're playing a very dangerous game going this route, because the longer they wait, the lower Ingram's value is going to be, and if they actually do choose to hold on to him through the whole year, they're basically admitting that they're fine with losing him for nothing in free agency next summer. Ingram definitely isn't coming off of one of his best seasons career-wise, with his production being down across the board, but he was dealing with untimely injuries throughout most of the year, and 2 years ago when he was healthier, he was posing a career-high 25 points per game, looking like a stud leading the Pelicans to the playoffs without a healthy Zion Williamson that season. The reality is that both he and Zion Williamson have had to sacrifice to play together, and Ingram definitely can be an all-star caliber guy when the team around him fully trusts him and gives him confidence to attack. Going back to the original take though, I can't get behind the idea of him pushing the top 15 in the league, despite everything I did just say. He's only been an all-star one time in his career 4 years ago. Ingram can definitely be a top 25 player in the league easily when he's on his game, but there is way too much talent in the NBA now to push the top 15 when there are arguably 15 superstar caliber players right now, and then at least another 10 to 15 all-star caliber guys in the same ballpark as Ingram. And finally, the last take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Armin, and he says that Reed Shepard will win Rookie of the Year this year. Now that the NBA's Summer League is over, we've officially gotten our first taste of the rookie class in action, and I'd be lying if I didn't say that Reed Shepard was performing the best of the rookies in that event. After being selected 3rd overall this year in the draft, there were some doubts amongst the masses about whether or not that pick was a reach, but now a month later, the more common sentiment amongst fans seems to be that he should have been the number 1 pick. Shepard is the kind of player that just looks so confident on the ball, and defenders are typically unable to get him out of rhythm, so he's just running things within the flow of the offense and taking what's given to him. He's an incredibly efficient scorer inside and out because he doesn't really take bad shots. He's a smart passer of the basketball, and most importantly, he showed that he could compete on the defensive end, which is an area that seems to be the cause of where most of the concern from scouts was. So if he can be a plus on that end, then he very well could be a star in the making. But does that all mean that he's going to be the Rookie of the Year this year? The Rookie of the Year is typically the player that comes into a situation that allows him to be more regularly involved in the offense with the opportunity to play through mistakes and grow from them in big minutes. Reed Shepard is going to be on a Houston team where he will more than likely be coming off the bench, playing about 20 minutes a game, which usually wouldn't be enough to win the Rookie of the Year in the NBA. The issue with the typical logic for this award, though, is that there aren't really that many rookies this season that seem like they're going to be in their team's starting lineups playing big minutes, besides Alex Sarr in Washington and maybe Zachary Rees-Sachet in Atlanta, and at the current moment, neither of those two look like they're ready to produce at a level that would win them the Rookie of the Year. Zach Edey is surprisingly the betting favorite in Vegas to win Rookie of the Year right now, but I disagree and can't really see a backup center getting enough tick to take it home, so then Reed Shepard is right behind him in the odds, so at the moment, Shepard is probably who I would actually lean towards before the season begins. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the takes discussed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.